Hi, welcome to Phantastic Feast. I'm your host, Phan. Now, the name of the show is Phantastic Feast, but if you've been following the show, you know that it's usually me who just eats. So today we're going to try something a little bit different and actually make a meal and invite some of the people who have been a part of the show and helping enjoy part of this fantastic feast. And you get to meet some of the faces behind the show. And actually, this is one of my favorite summer night dinners because it's so easy but so delicious. There's a lot of vegetables, there's a lot of protein, and it's something that I always leave feeling really satisfied. So it looks like there's a lot going on, but everything is so quick, and while something else is cooking, you can get the other things going. So when that happens, I think it's a perfect storm of a wonderful meal. What we will be making today is some steak, and the secret to this steak is the cast iron pan, and it's one of the easiest ways to cook steak, but it's delicious, so simple, but it hits the spot every time. And I'll show you how to make a chimichurri sauce, which is an Argentinian sauce that's really a staple to a lot of meat marinades and so forth, and I think it's a nice side accompaniment if you want something just beyond the just the plain old steak. So I think that's a nice addition, and it's really simple to make as well. We'll put the corn into roast in the oven, and then also cook some roasted beets as well, and that will go into the salad. It's one of my favorite salads because it's so colorful and it makes you want to eat your greens. And I'll show you a really simple but delicious dressing that I came up with that is a little bit salty, a little bit sweet, and a little bit tangy that makes me want to eat my greens. So I'll show you how to do that. We'll also do a fingerling potato with rosemary and garlic roasted in the oven as well. So these are a lot of things that you can get going at one time. Throw it in the oven, and while that's going on, we'll cook the steak, make a nice drink, and then have everyone over for a really nice simple meal that you can enjoy, sit down with your friends, and really have a nice evening meal. So let's get started. What we have here is ribeye steak, and the truth is I'm actually not a huge steak person until I learned how to make this style steak because it's so easy. Before, when I was younger, I used to like it burnt, crisp, and well done, but I mean, obviously that's not the way you should be eating steak. So these days, as I become older and a little bit more of a foodie, I can enjoy it with a little bit more blood coming from there, or a little bit more medium. So that's been kind of a nice thing to have discovered. So the thing about these steaks is you just need to make sure that it's outside. You let it sit outside for at least an hour so that it comes to room temperature. And it's a really simple seasoning. It's salt, pepper, and then olive oil. So it's sometimes I feel like the best food is the stuff that is the simplest because you really get to taste the flavor of the meat. So here I have some Himalayan sea salt, and that's my preferred salt. And you liberally salt this on both sides. Some pepper. And you flip it over and do the exact same thing to the other side. For those of you who are vegetarians, I'm really sorry because I know this is very meat-centric. So that's your steak seasoning: salt, pepper, olive oil. Like I said, it's super simple. Now we'll let this rest for a little bit, get it to room temperature, and we'll set this aside. In the meantime, we'll put stuff in the oven so that we can have our giant meal going. There's no really special trick to this. I leave the husk on just so it's a little bit of a garnish later. But I take out the hairs on here, the corn silk, so that you're not eating that. So basically what I do is I just wrap them in foil. As you can tell, I love foil. I line everything with foil, so it's an easier cleanup later on. And I'll set this aside. I have 3 types of beets right here, and beets are my favorite, one of my favorite root vegetables. It's so healthy. I juice it, I bake it, I do everything with it. I have golden beets, I have red beets, and this right here is a candy cane beet. This one I don't roast because I will slice this and put it on the salad raw because it's so beautiful. All you do to roast beets is you wrap it in foil and you put it in the oven. Simple, right? I've already washed it and scrubbed it clean. And the reason why I like this is because you can just roast it and pop it in the oven for about 40 minutes, and then it comes out and it's so juicy, and you don't have to peel it because you don't have to peel it beforehand. Once it comes out of the oven, the skin just comes off really easily. So I found that that's really a nice way to roast the beets and make life a lot easier. So the beets are here. These are fingerling potatoes. And what I love about fingerling potatoes is they are just about the right size. So then I'll slice these in half, and then what I'll do next is I'll take you out to my garden, get some rosemary, some stuff that I'm growing out, some herbs, and then we'll put everything in the oven. These I also washed and scrubbed clean. This one looks like a heart, so I don't want to cut it. It's it's a perfect fingerling potato heart, so we'll leave that one whole. So these are my potatoes. I will lay them on a pan, and then we'll get some garlic minced, and then let me take you out to the garden to get some rosemary for this. It's going to be great. So cute. So now I have the rosemary that I just cut from the garden, and rosemary is actually one of my favorite herbs. It just is so fragrant. I just love it, and it tastes really good with potatoes. So after you wash it, so you would take this and then you would slide it like that. You don't want to keep the stem because it's too woody. Okay, so, and then you just mince it. And now I'll mince some garlic to put on there. I have yet to make a savory dish that doesn't feature garlic, so maybe that will be my challenge one day, to cook something that doesn't include garlic. So, but I mean, I really love it. You can also use the food processor, obviously, and that would be much faster. But since I'll be cutting and mincing a bunch of herbs, I'll just do it while I'm here. Okay, I would say probably about half of this. Probably like 2 tablespoons. Okay. And you just want to drizzle this with olive oil. Salt and pepper. Now we can pop this in the oven as well. And probably for about, I would say about 30 or 40 minutes until it's tender and crispy and browned. So let's get this in the oven too. Leave room for the potatoes. So now we have everything in the oven. Let's get started on our chimichurri sauce. So we have our minced garlic here. What we'll do is mince 1 shallot as well. And I have actually been very fortunate to actually have gone to Argentina and eaten the chimichurri sauce there. And the beef in Argentina is completely fantastic because their beef is grass-fed. So it's just, Argentina is known for their wine and their beef, and I'm really glad I got to enjoy that. So this is just a small piece of Argentina. So depending on how much spice you can take, you could use half of a jalapeno or the whole thing. Dice this. Okay, and now we need some oregano, not so much, but just about 2 teaspoons of oregano. This is another really fragrant herb. I don't grow this, but maybe that's what I need to add next. So this is also really fragrant. So you want to take off the leaves. That's pretty fragrant. Some people think that cilantro tastes like soap, but I've never thought that. I love cilantro, and I would say that a lot of Vietnamese people love it because it's in a lot of our dishes. So you just want to give this kind of a rough chop. Okay. Cilantro is done. And now our flat leaf parsley. I really enjoy it. And that's all the chopping components that you have for your chimichurri sauce. So what we'll do is we'll combine the vinegar, half a cup of red wine vinegar, our shallots, garlic, and our jalapenos. Red chili flakes. And we'll let this sit for about 10 minutes, and then we'll add the rest of the fresh herbs in there, and the salt and pepper to taste. Now that's been standing for 10 minutes. Now what we'll do is add the rest, which is the parsley, the oregano, and the cilantro. And then to this you add 3/4 of a cup of olive oil. Let's taste it, and you can add more salt to it if you feel it needs it. So that's your chimichurri sauce.